Welcome to the buymeacoffee.com/James Poetry, the coffee tips page that supports my James Poetry creative productions and work. See also jamespoetry.online.
Hello, perceptive reader. I want to share something special with you today, and it's in reference to the jamespoetry.online website, the category, A Bit of History. You know, one of the things that I try to help persons to see at least is that you can give a compliment without losing yourself into even hero worship. However, it has been mentioned, and I've seen it, over the course of my life, but I just didn't, focus on it that much, that persons can lose themselves, even within that type of admiration. And see, and yet we are encouraged to have role models. See, even a person who is a good role model can still have such an effect on the individual where even when that role model is totally talking in their own opinion in this way or that way, where even the person who is imitating them shouldn't apply what they're saying, they will. So you can still see an admiration or hero worship, if you will, that can still happens whether a person is a good role model or even a bad role model. Yet all the same, we're taught to have a balance, to be able to give good things, to relate positive words to one another. There's nothing wrong in giving commendation. Yet, as I mentioned before, a lot of persons rarely give it. But I'm just stating this. Now, here's the topic that I want to mention again about a bit of history. Those different people that I mentioned there, from musicians to company owners, policymakers, etc., leaders, and things of that nature. It goes into all backgrounds. Some of them may have played a very intricate role in my thought processes while I was growing up for one reason or the other, whether it was a book, whether it was a series or show, or it can be the population as a whole. And that's why it's not just limited to persons who were even born in the United States of America, even though that's the main focus, because the large number of my audience is still right in the United States of America. And so I relate what you appreciate as well, what you have benefited from. And see, and in the bit of history, just this week alone, I mentioned a man, Sylvester Stallone, who not only created or wrote, should I say, the stories of Rocky, but he also acted in them. The movies were very popular, good storytelling, inspiration, and things of that nature. Now, this is still along the lines that there's something good in you. And this is also along the lines while why I talk about the crafts of people, whether their crafts turn them into well-known personalities. Some people call them celebrities or what have you. And see, and depending on what time it is throughout the year, some crafts are looked upon as good. Then next thing you know, they're looked upon as being bad. Well, I'm still going to share you. Wisdom is still within its works. Wisdom is proven. What your work is proven by? How did Jesus say it? All the same, wisdom is proven by its works. Okay, by what is produced or its fruitage. So listen to this. there was actually a person, a young person, even within their first decade of life, um, being inspired, if you will, by the writings of Sylvester Stallone from the Rocky movie. Isn't there something? So much so that the person, in order to remember that monumental feat of writing, storytelling, and even acting within the first decade of this one person's life, who could probably barely draw, they drew something to remember that moment in time, and drew it to on a sheet of paper that would to such an extent. It also not only referenced a movie, but it referenced in the drawing, if you were to look at it, the importance of health and fitness even then, which will go on to still have an effect sporadically throughout this person's life. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you is this, that uh, people even realize how important health is. And some have even said, boy, um, there are some persons' occupations, and you can see them, they got fitness shows and things of that nature, where their ability to even make a living, so to speak, is directly tied in with them being in shape. hmm Directly tied with them being in shape. And so when you even look at some of these action stars, just as much as they have to know their lines and things of that nature, then even when they're not making a movie, what are they doing? They're looking and still taking important amino acids, creatine, um, greens, vitamins, a daily, what they say, what is your daily supply or intake for the nutrients of your body? And see, the thing about it, especially with this economy today, and that's why I say inflation within itself is a crime to humanity, because the very items that we need for our bodies to function in an optimal way cost a lot of money. And not everybody can still even plant a farm in their backyard right now. So there's just so many factors that go into having to be able to live what I would tell you even more than 80, 90, 100, 110, 120 years of age, and still be in pretty darn rootin' tootin' shape with no other chemical interactions at all, but just what God has put in the ground when it's allowed to grow the way that it's supposed to grow, wildly and things of that nature. But what I still want to emphasize is, see, you take somebody even like Sylvester Stallone, who is still now up in age. You see what I'm saying? He's up in age, but then still in great shape. You see what I'm saying? That it is still his occupation, his job, if you will, to stay in as great a shape as he can be. And isn't it something to be able to still then take that talent and use it in other ways? What I want to tell you is this: that picture, if you will, that was drawn within the first decade of somebody's life, who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that it touched certain persons' hearts so much? It wasn't even nowhere near Michelangelo, that yet it was still saved 5, 10, 15, and way more years after that. you see, as a snapshot, moment in time to show, boy, what Sylvester Stallone did, he may have done it for a make it or break it moment just in his life. But did he even give consideration of that time? How those writings, those stories, that movie would affect somebody who was even barely in an awareness of life itself. You're not just a cog. You're not just a number. You got some good stuff in you, people. And that's what I continue to tell you. It's not hero worship. No. You say something that can give somebody even inspiration for that day, that can even at times help them through the hard times in life. They even get themselves together, even though it comes in what? Hills and valleys. But to know, because one thing that I will tell you, the person who drew that or created that picture within the first decade of their life, they did have moments in their life where even in the physical way, they were not only confident, they were unstoppable. And so, like I told you, life can come in hills and valleys. Yet, all the same, a snapshot or moment of time of greatness was still made within the first decade of their life. Take good care of yourself.